In Capital News tonight, long queues of lorries to the port of Dar es Salaam have started to decrease. Government warns against investment activities along lake shores. And in sports, more than 80 golfers to participate in the Johnny Walker Cross Country Championships. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's get started with the national news. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has suspended the District Commissioner of Hai, Lengai Ole Sabaya, in order to investigate allegations against him. A press statement from State House said that Sabaya was suspended as from today, 13th of May, and President Samia Suluhu Hassan has also appointed Dr. Stegomena Tax as the chair of Uongozi Institute Board, as well as members of the board, and appointed Nsubili Akomeligwe Kajela as the clerk of the Cabinet of Ministers. And long queues of lorries along the Kilwa Road heading to the port of Dar es Salaam have decreased following implementation of a directive to executives from various institutions which provide services at the port given by Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa to make sure efficiency of services is improved.
Kuna muda mwingine unakuta foleni hakuna kabisa, unaingia na kushusha unaondoka. Wakati mwingine unakuta kweli wamezidiwa, block huko kunakuwa ICD zimejaa, transit zimejaa. Pale chini hapo unakuta TRA wanasema system ya kutoa mizigo inakuwa inasumbua. Kwa hiyo tulikuwa tunashauri waweke utaratibu mzuri wa kuweza kuondoa hii foleni, kwa sababu tunakuta na kikazo sana, tunatumia gharama. Kukaa foleni unajua unapokuwa na kijana pia unatumia gharama.
Wakati wa ujenzi utakuwa na changamoto za hapa na pale.
During construction, there will be challenges, so we are asking Honorable Prime Minister the Tanzanians to bear with us as the construction takes place.
And the government has warned investors who've invested and continue to invest along lake shores to follow environment regulations so as to avoid ongoing losses after an increase in the water depth at Lake Tanganyika due to climate change.
Kwa mfano soko la Kibiriti, manake maji yameingia.
Kibiriti market is flooded. This is a lesson that needs to be learned to everybody on the issue of infrastructure. During constructions, contractors have to consider environmental demands by getting environmental certificate, which is not only issued by NEMC alone, because all key stakeholders are involved in giving out the certificate. All the areas here have been surveyed, but if there was a joint survey with other key stakeholders, then the situation couldn't have been like this today. The project began without carrying out feasibility studies. We have inspected and found out that the constructions have been done within the prohibited 60 meters away from the lake. As time goes by, water levels will be increasing.
The Ministry of Health, Community Development, Gender, Elderly and Children has received 547 new employment permits for various healthcare workers, including doctors, nurses and pharmacists, with 473 of them to fill positions left open by healthcare practitioners who left their jobs for various reasons.
Wataalamu 473 sasa ambao watakuwa chini ya uratibu wa Wizara ya Afya. Pia zitakuwa ni kada mbalimbali. Wataajiriwa katika hospitali.
473 professionals will be employed in zonal hospitals like KCMC, Lugando, Mbeya and Benjamin Mkapa. Again, the experts will be divided, where some will be taken to regional referral hospitals and universities which are under the Ministry of Health. The employees will include doctors, nurses, pharmacists, medical technicians, laboratory technicians, race technicians, eyes technicians, physiologists, environmental officers, health assistants, health secretaries, social welfare officers, and nutritionists. Those are fields that will benefit from opportunities offered.
Kwa hiyo hizo ndo kada ambazo zitanufaika na hizo nafasi.
Some Dar es Salaam residents who have gone shopping for Eid al-Fitr in Kariakoo have expressed concern on price hikes for various items, particularly clothes. They said the situation has caused many to fail to buy goods that they want.
Things are sold in different prices. It depends on your budget. I have failed to purchase anything because of prices. I call upon traders to stop the habit of increasing prices during the festival seasons. Prices are the same. There is no need of increasing prices because of festivities. Unfortunately, most of the shoppers during such seasons purchase clothes once a year. They are not regular shoppers. That is why they find prices differ from one year to another. Buy from hawkers at the roadsides because they say that hawkers sell their items at affordable prices.
Kisutu Resident Magistrate Court in Dar es Salaam has freed the former Director General of Medical Stores Department, MSD, Rion, and the Director of Logistics, Biekwaso Tabura, after the Director of Public Prosecution submitted a document of not continuing with the case. Here's more on the report.
The decision to free the two was made by the senior resident magistrate, Cassian Matembele, after the prosecution presented by senior state attorney Wankio Simon submitted in court the document signed on 10th May by then DPP Biswalo Muganga. In the case, the two accused were facing 5 offences, which include that of money laundering amounting to more than 1.6 billion shillings. In the charge sheet, they alleged, despite being public servants, to have on 1st July 2016 and June 30th 2019 in various parts of Dar es Salaam have created a gang of criminals with the aim of getting financial gain. They are also alleged to have on 1st July 2016 and 30th June 2019 in different parts of the United Republic of Tanzania to have allowed poor storage of medical tools, which led to their destruction, causing MSD to incur a loss of 85,199,879 shillings.
The Minister of State in the President's Office, Constitution, Legal Affairs, Public Service and Good Governance in Zanzibar, Harun Ali, has said that the government of Saudi Arabia has set difficult conditions for the Hajj this year, which includes pilgrims having to be under 60 years old and to have taken the COVID-19 vaccine.
Kama shati kidogo ili kwenda hija kuna taratibu zimewekwa ambao sisi tunafuata maelekezo yao.
In order for one to go for Hajj, there are procedures that have been set where we are only complying with their requirements, although so far the government of Saudi Arabia has not given us proper guidance. We are still waiting for their response. Regarding the coronavirus outbreak, they advise people from the age of 60 and above not to be allowed to participate in Hajj prayers. Again, all pilgrims must be vaccinated, something that Honorable President is still working on. I agree with what Honorable Nadir has said on the issue of remaining silent regarding what is happening to our Palestinian brothers and sisters, whether they're Muslims or not.
Over 312 licensed small-scale miners in NJOMBE region have urged the government to give them a license to start mining coal in Mundindi Ward, Ludewa district.
Tunalalamika sana na juu ya shirika letu la maendeleo ya taifa NDC.
We have a complaint about NDC, which has taken a big piece of land in NJOMBE region, and it is difficult for small-scale miners to invest in mining.
Baada ya kujifunza, tumegundua kwa idadi hii tulionayo na kwa mitaji tulionayo.
We've discovered that from the number of people and capital at our disposal, we are asking only to be given just a few licenses from NDC, which has been hesitant to do so. Where are you stuck? Is license the only problem? We're going to resolve this matter so we can see where else you can get stock.
Following various districts and north regions being affected by elephants and causing significant destruction to crops and families, Tanzania Wildlife Authority TAWA has deployed various forces to control effects caused by the animals.
They are in Lushoto, Korogwe for Tanga, but the situation is the same in Kilimanjaro and Monduli, but we don't have a lot of officers. There is also a task force in charge of training. Wild animals continue to cause damage, so we need an alternative solution to drive them back into reserve. At least 3 hectares of cassava have been eaten. They have caused a lot of damage.
That's all for the national news. International news is next. In international news, Israeli fighter jets have attacked high-rise buildings and other targets in the Gaza Strip as Palestinians in the besieged enclave woke up on Thursday to mark the Eid al-Fitr religious holiday under relentless aerial bombardment. Here is more.
Since the Israel offensive began late on Monday, Gaza's health ministry says at least 84 people, including 17 children, have been killed. More than 480 others have been wounded. At least 6 Israelis and 1 Indian national have also been killed. The Israel army said 100 of rockets have been fired from Gaza towards various locations in Israel, and they have added reinforcements near the enclave's eastern lands. There have also been more violent confrontations between Jewish Israelis and Palestinian citizens of Israel in several cities inside Israel.
In Kenya, police fired tear gas to disperse a crowd of more than 200 people protesting in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, on Thursday against the Israeli bombing of the Palestinian territory of Gaza. Several demonstrators were arrested, and the demonstration started after Eid prayers at a nearby mosque, with the protesters waving banners with the Palestinian flag.
We are bound by them. They are our brothers in faith. We are hurt because they are hurting. But the government has forbidden us to protest. Our anger, our cry, we will send it to God. And that it is better than marching. Because God hears our cries and hears the cries of Palestinians. We see people in hospitals, women left widows, orphans. We leave everything to God.
There is a sense of optimism in Germany as infections continue to fall. There's hope that people will be able to go on summer holidays, and officials say Germany appears to have broken the 3rd wave of the coronavirus pandemic. Over 10 million Germans who are either fully vaccinated or have recovered from the virus can now regain some of their freedom, but not everything is positive. For more on this, we are joined by our partner from Deutsche Welle, correspondent Thomas Sparrow. So, Thomas, how is the current coronavirus situation in Germany?
Well, after a long and a dark winter marked by the 3rd wave of the coronavirus pandemic, there is a sense of optimism in Germany as the incidence rate drops, infections fall, more and more people get vaccinated, and the good summer weather approaches. This is clear when you listen to authorities such as German Health Minister Jens Spahn, who recently said that Germany appears to have broken that 3rd wave of the pandemic. And it is evident also when you speak to people on the street. I was out reporting earlier this week and people seemed very pleased with the possibility of spending more time outdoors and hopeful as well that the positive trend could continue into the summer. It is, however, important to add that authorities have also stressed that the pandemic is not over, and they have cautioned against easing restrictions on public life too soon. Germany's health minister, for instance, said it was important not to gamble away what has already been achieved.
And how is the vaccination rollout going? Are things speeding up after that very slow start?
Germany had a very slow and a very problematic start to its vaccination rollout earlier in the year. But the rollout has been gathering speed in recent weeks, and as such, it adds to this sense of optimism. Over 30% of Germans have been vaccinated at least once, and around 10% have received both jabs. And for these people, plus those who have recovered from the virus, there is also an added benefit, as they will regain some of their freedoms. They will no longer have to abide by curfews, for instance, or by limits on social contacts. But this has come with a new problem, as German media have reported that vaccination certificates are being forged.
And what is the outlook for the summer? Will Europeans be able to go on holiday?
Although it is still clear that Germany and other European countries are facing important challenges when it comes to the pandemic, there is also hope among the population that they'll be able to go on summer holiday. German authorities have said this should be possible within Europe, obviously with some precautions, but they have also advised people not to get too ambitious with their travel plans, such as going on a long-distance trip, for example. As a matter of context, it's important to mention that travelling is very important for Germans. With around 55 million people who took a trip of at least 5 days, the number of people going on holiday in Germany in 2019, so just before the pandemic, was higher than ever before.
Thank you, Thomas, for that update. And that special report marks the end of our international news. Business news follows after this short break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and now in business news. Farmers in Meru, Arumeru District, Arusha region have high expectations of reaping the benefits after venturing into avocado farming instead of depending on coffee alone.
Many Meru growers now feel it is advisable to have two commercial crops, coffee and avocado. Not that farmers are abandoning the coffee crop, no, they have decided to add a second commercial crop. In 2019-2020, the world market brought avocado crop for $13 billion US. It is clear that the efforts of the government and other stakeholders, including TAHA, more citizens will be educated to produce these horticulture products than in the past.
And traders and farmers in Rovuma region have urged investors to establish packaging industries in the region as they face challenges caused by lack of packaging materials for their products and crops.
Inapelekea mpaka wafanyabiashara wanafuata mzigo.
Traders are following the cargo in Dar es Salaam. So in Rovuma region, it is important to have a packaging investors.
Baada ya kuagiza kila mwaka tunaagiza Dar es Salaam, Arusha.
We usually order Dar es Salaam or Arusha, and there are times when they come late. And many people in Rovuma region are using these packaging a lot.
The Region Commissioner of Katavi, Juma Homera, said that the media plays a key role in developing economic opportunities as well as attracting investors to the region. He made the remarks when handing over plots to journalists in recognition of their contribution in promoting economic opportunities in Rovuma.
Nimewakabidhi waandishi wa habari wa mkoa wa Katavi.
I have handed over to the journalists of Katavi region plots worth 40 million shillings to build their living quarters with their families. And they will continue to promote Tanzania and raise many challenges so that the people can be productive. We thank the Regional Commissioner of Katavi, Comrade Juma Zuberi, for giving us plots as journalists. He has shown how much he values us and recognizes our contribution. We're very grateful to him for doing this, so he has shown us how much he cares for journalists and the media. We promise him to continue to work and provide cooperation to all leaders.
And that's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Marquinhos, he did lose some length.
And now in sports news. More than 80 golfers have registered to participate in the Johnny Walker Cross Country Championships, which will take place at the Lugalo Golf Course in Dar es Salaam this Saturday.
This will be a 9-fields match, but the routine of play will be different. You can start with number 1 and then go to number 3, then number 7, then 10. And at the end you feel like you have played 18 fields, but it is just 9. Currently, more than 80 players have been registered.
And the new WABA East and Central Africa champion, Issa Salum Simba, has handed his championship belt to Tanzania Professional Boxing Regulatory Commission and said that he aims to be the world champion.
Hapa kazi, yani cha msingi tu ajue kuwa ndo kwanza tumeanza.
We are here to work. They should know we have just started. I would just like to tell them that I'm not trying to fight the local boxers. I am aiming for the World Championship, not the National Championship or African or East and Central Africa Championships.
Qatar has been confirmed as the venue for the Champions League final after a deal to move the game from Istanbul to Wembley proved out of reach. Here's more.
Istanbul was due to host a match between Manchester City and Chelsea on 29th of May, but negotiations to take the final elsewhere began after Turkey was placed on England's travel red list on Friday. City and Chelsea will get 6,000 tickets each for the match at Porto Estadio do Dragão. Arrangements for the sale of tickets to the general public will start on 24th of May. The UK government had been keen to bring the game to Wembley, but talks hit complications. Notably, UEFA wanted staff, media and sponsors to be able to travel to the UK without quarantine, and the government was reluctant to agree to the number of exceptions requested.
And Richard Arnold, Manchester United's Group Managing Director, heads a list of 3 internal candidates to replace Ed Woodward as the club's most powerful executive.
Understood that Arnold is in pole position to succeed Woodward, the executive vice chairman, with Cliff Batty, chief financial officer, and Hemant Siayo, head of corporate finance, also being considered by the owners, the Glazers, who are thought to favor a current employee. Batty, appointed in 2016, is in charge of financial control of United, the club website states, and he is listed on the board of directors. Siayo joined United 9 years ago, and his position includes capital structure planning, corporate development projects, strategy, corporate actions, and investor relations activity, according to the executive's LinkedIn page. Siayo was also involved in planning for the club's joining of the now defunct European Super League. If Woodward departs as announced at the close of 2021, whether he remains in overall control of United's day-to-day business until then, it's unclear.
Rio Ferdinand and David De Gea have been among the stars to pay tribute to former Manchester United defender Antonio Valencia, who has announced his retirement from professional football at age 35.
Spent 10 years at Old Trafford between 2009 and 2019, where he was converted from a winger into their first-choice right-back and went on to win 2 Premier League titles and make 339 competitive appearances in all competitions. The 99-cap Ecuador international, who also played in the Premier League with Wigan Athletic, decided to call time on his professional days following a stint in Liga MX with Querétaro. Ex-United defender Ferdinand and current Red Devils goalkeeper De Gea, who played alongside Valencia in his title-winning campaigns of 2010-2011 and 2012-2013 respectively, were among those to show their respect for their former teammate.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching. Good night.